6 people that started PayPal, 5 built bombs in high school. The way we ended up with all these really interesting, idiosyncratic people is he and I met through sort of mutual friends, but pretty much randomly, and hit it off very quickly. And then when we decided to start a company together, he basically said, look, we need to go find the smartest, kind of most entrepreneurial people we know. Like, this has to be a group of people that'll stop at nothing before success. Because he was giving up just the very beginning of a career as a fairly successful investor. So he put aside a fund that he just raised. He had to go to his LPs and say, I am freezing the fund, and by that I mean I'm putting basically all the money into this company that I'm starting with a kid from Ukraine that came to this country less than 5 years ago, but it's going to be okay. The notion of PayPal was, let's build a network where we connect buyers and sellers through a new channel that is more efficient and better accessible. And back in those days, actually taking credit card payments online was difficult. It was really not a thing, and it was unsafe, and SSL was brand new, and so every one of those problems had to be solved. Today, you don't think twice about putting your card in online because you know it's relatively safe, it's kind of well-traveled territory, and PayPal is now 250 million users. The thing that we never touched at PayPal was the other side of payments, which is the good funds are not given good. There's a bank that underwrites the transaction and says, I'm going to be behind that loan or that line no matter what happens. The merchant, you're safe. Take the money, ship the good, or take the promise, ship the good. And so talking to my co-founders at a firm, most of whom were with me at PayPal, one of the things that we were sort of marveling at was, why didn't we try lending? Like, we could have modernized the entire stack, not just a veneer on top where you connect the 16-digit number to the person taking the money. And so the mission of our firm really became, let's not just build yet another thin layer, cool channel from point A to point B, but really try to clean up the entire thing. And by clean up, I don't mean it's dirty, I just mean it was built on 1960s technology and has stayed that way. So that's really a big difference for us. I had to learn a lot about lending. Because China is so vast and there's so many stores, distributing the boxes through independent sales force, you'd have to hire half the country to sell the boxes. And so as a result, there was just a very simple solution. Of course, if you sort of step back and say, well, why doesn't this happen in the sort of the outside world? It's because we have been trained that the reach for my card, stick it in or swipe it through is actually a very nice consumer experience, which it is. It's a fabulously coherent UX, but it's not necessary. And this notion of get my phone out, get identified, stick a barcode out, might even be slightly higher effort for the end customer. But it's not so high effort that it prohibits commerce. It enables commerce just fine, as China proves, but there's no friction switching from the swipe to the barcode or to the NFC or all the other tenders that they figured out. So what's going on in China in payments specifically, because everybody's got a chip in their pocket, you can securely create a transaction, you can sign it, all of that. And as a result, this idea of these big mainframe in the sky that must process all these payments is the only way to be is complete nonsense. The one strength, the one sort of trait that I found to be fundamentally differentiating across any one of these sort of DNAs of companies is grit. I think if you like getting punched in the teeth and while you're chewing glass and staring over the abyss, and you just love to show up to work doing that all day long because it's worth it, because there's a victory at the end, hopefully. One, you're probably an entrepreneur, even if you don't know it yet. But even if you're not ever going to start your own company, that's the thing that differentiates winning startups from the ones that sometimes don't win.